get out of it. But for now, we're going to jump into game number 2 here. It is G2.iG taking on the side of Heroic, as Heroic with a beautiful game 1 performance, looking to try and close out the series. But IG, they need a win, and they need it badly.
I think another cool thing about this Meepo is that we were just talking a lot about, hey, we got to shut down Slark. But Meepo can act as a second carry, and he essentially does. So now if you focus on the Meepo, you're going to get Slarked. If you focus on Slark, maybe you're going to get Meepo'd. It kind of puts the pressure on Heroic. Like, how do we shut down all these heroes?
What is this? All right, they're just playing a little high five in the mid lane.
Having a good time. Like, oh, you're going to Meepo us, huh? I see how it is. Now, Heroic Analog's actually also a Meepo player, so they have done this to other people before. So that might give them a little bit of insight. Not everyone plays Meepo, but Analog might understand what a Meepo wants, even if it's an offlane Meepo versus a mid carry Meepo, and that might help them out here.
Oh, we're going to see a fight potentially at the top rune. No, bottom rune, though. Lylam needs to be a little bit careful, but so does Monet. It's like you don't have nearly as much burst damage as like this Timbersaw does near these trees, and he's looking for X Nova now. Gonna just try and put on some pressure, and I don't blame him. This is actually really smart. Just kind of prevent them from getting into the lane, and he's gonna offensively body block this to force that into the tower. Very good way to start this lane.
Yeah, we see they've already blocked this small camp as well. X Nova does not have another sentry on him. Maybe okay, one is coming, so he can unblock the small camp right away, realizing like what's going on. Like, I need this to be able to deal with the equilibrium that Heroic just created here.
Lylam is going to take a little bit of excess damage there from the tower, but this lane will be in a very good position for them. Like you said, that small camp already being blocked. I don't think he's going to get there in time to unblock it, so you're going to have at least 2 waves sitting here like this.
And this kind of stuff really matters when, like I said, like the level advantage matters a lot here. If Timbersaw reaches a point where he can just keep bursting Slark will not have the regen to deal with it until level 6. Shadow Shaman's got his own burst too.
Yeah, I actually like the Shaman going for the Ether Shock here. Like, Slark wins the elongated fights, right? Always. But you don't win that burst, right? And if Monet's able to get like 4 or 5 stacks of Essence Shift, suddenly you're tanking like 80 damage and auto attack from this Slark. But yeah, Heroic playing it in a little bit of a different way. Just throw out a couple spells and back away. So I like it. It's a good adaptation to the Slark matchup.
Definitely. In the meantime, on the other side, I see this Meepo with 7 last hits. He's happy.
Well, they got it, man. The level 2. They just immediately hit the level 2. The pounce into the Inkswell. They take down the Shadow Shaman, and that is like, I guess that's the downside of the offensive block, right? You're gonna have the XP advantage on G2.iG for the, for that first wave, but wave is still in an okay position, and Monet, I think he's still gonna struggle a little bit, but yeah, first blood for him is literal best case scenario for G2.iG right now.
Yeah, especially after having your lane pushed out. That's like the one way to try to punish that, is use that level spike to try to get some the level spike, and the fact that your creeps are pushed in. You sometimes have like more creeps than the enemy, so it's great on them to find that. Maybe a bit of a mistake to give that up, actually, but yeah, it goes both ways.
All right, before I interrupted you about these other lanes, let's take a look at top here, as we've got K1 on this Faceless Void. We've got the Bat Rider here from KJ, JT's Meepo, and of course Bobica on the Techies. So I mean, a lot of potential kill threat coming out from, I guess, both sides, right? Like KJ, Bat Rider has always great rundown potential, but you have this Earthbind into Blast Off you have to be careful of as well.
Yeah, it's going to be annoying. Techies has been applying the pressure. You see he outranges everyone here, and then just keeps throwing out the Q to harass, which Faceless Void can time walk off some of that, but oh, no, when you're stunned like this. All right, gonna get more nuke damage in. The Sticky Bomb is just so low cooldown though, and Time Walk is much longer at level 1.
Oh, so sorry. I just caught the tail end of that bottom. Wow, that was very close. Divine Llama went down to a sliver of HP, but the Hex from Schofield allows them to get the Timber Chain off, and they find a kill as a turnaround onto the Slark.
No, you're right. Who cares about those other lanes? These are the guys doing stuff down here. Let's watch this forever.
I will say, KJ on the Batrider, it looked like he wanted to go in when they went for the blast off play onto K1, but he was one creep away from the level 2 Firefly. And like this ability scales so well, and he's just like, all right, well, I'm not gonna bother. Like, I'll just wait till I have level 2 Firefly before we do anything again. Gonna go for a half pull.
Look at that, all his health. Goodbye, Slark. Ooh, a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's just. This is what we're talking about. The burst damage that comes out from... Yikes. Dude, this is typical Divine Llama. This guy always tips enemies. He's like, yeah, you got first blood, but we get second and third, you know?
Yeah.
Really
We're seeing that volatility come out. Slark is a hero that needs the stacks. A very common mistake for like pub Slark players is trying to commit too hard, like with nothing. You need to build up stacks and then go. And it is so hard for Slark in this game to build up these stacks with these heroes. Like they're just nuking him down. KJ gonna fall up top.
That's a nice pick off there from Bobica. He is, like you said, he's just been putting the damage. He's just been clicking heroes the entire lane stage.
Yeah.
So it's worked. Finally finds himself an opening. Now K1 needs to be careful as the double root into the double. Poof pops a stick, gets the time walk off with almost no HP, but will barely survive. But he loses his boots on the courier. Here comes the Batrider though. He's got sticky nape, or he's got the Firefly in 7 seconds. He has a blood grenade as well. I'm surprised he just can't chase him down. The nets are back up.
Yeah, I just felt it wasn't worth the risk without the Firefly up right away.
JT playing a little bit aggressive here with just his one Meepo, as he will have to throw the Earthbind. And yeah, he's feeling very confident. Dude, this is really good for G2.iG in this offlane. This Meepo is crushing the CS for being an offlane Meepo. I mean, he's having a great time.
Yeah, Slark's been having a tough time, but the other 2 lanes are going well. Actually, like all the cores are like doing relatively well. Bit of a farm fest going on for everyone but the Slark.
Yeah, mid is just kind of like a draw, right? Like, oh, we're gonna see a rotation
First
to bottom lane. They
rotation.
see NTS coming. They throw out the Phantom's Embrace. They jump in, but the coil comes out. You gotta be careful. There's gonna be the Hex immediately as well. And dude, losing your Primal Beast on that first rotation is not looking good. But guess who's also bottom? It's KJ on the Batrider. They want to just keep looking for more. And Monet on this Slark, he's got a pounce available, but if he gets it blocked, he's in so much trouble. Do they close the gap? They're looking for it, but Monet just barely squeaks on by, so he's going to be fine.
Yeah, Primal Beast. The fact that Puck rotated in like just in time, he was there for the entire fight. If he has to spend that time teleporting in, ooh, nice top stun into the Meepo damage. They're gonna try to get a return kill. I mean, they do for losing that fight bottom. Yeah, the Puck just managed to get there in time to interrupt everything on the Primal Beast. So nothing to say, gets nothing out of that.
Is that level? What level of blast off is he? Okay, so he is got his level 5 now, but holding his point for the moment. Yeah, it goes for the 3rd point, sticky bomb. That ability is just so good. The lingering on the stun is just wild. Techies players have had it too good for too long. Dude, Schofield is level 6. What? He just ward drops bottom. They're going to look for X-Nova here behind the tower as KJ, he does have Firefly, but with the Inkswell, I don't really want to chase him. They've brought heroes here, but the Shaman wards are just too scary to fight into, and they're just going to take this tower slowly but steadily. Here comes Primal Beast as well. They did manage to get rid of the ward that was there, but all right, they will clean up the wards. They force some big rotations. The tower will survive, though. That is quite good for G2.iG.
Yeah, Slark wants to be here a little longer. He's really close to 6. So if this tower had fallen, it would have been pretty sad. But they've got a lot of heroes down here. Yeah.
It's just Llama being 6 is a problem. There comes the Primal Beast. KJ gets immediately caught from the Pulverize, and so he will fall. A nice little TP spot there from NTS, just in that little cubby, surprising the Batrider. Good stuff.
Yeah, and that's going to guarantee Monet now hits 6 before this tower falls, which is going to help him. You really can't jungle until you have 6 as Slar, so...
And they are looking top potentially again here as Bobica making another rotation. It seems like if this Meepo manages to catch him, he's got level 4 on the poof now, so if he manages to catch him on the Earthbinds, he can get a kill, but Bobica goes back through the Twin Gate bottom. He has no mana now as a result of those two Twin Gates. Will he do it a third time? He does! Oh no. Oh, 90 mana. All right, well, K1, he's just going to chrono him here, I think. You've got the help in from Llama as the supports are trying their best to make it in time. The Hex comes through, and they just burst him down. Heroic will be the ones that end up finding the kill.
Yeah, that's a great kill to get. Meepo was farming very well, so you got to slow him down a little bit and probably make your way back down to this bottom lane to finish it. Oh, no, they're just going to send K1.
I like that they're leaving these heroes top, though. If they get on top of Bobica here, and they do, they could potentially find a kill, but they're a little bit afraid of the TP. They don't know where the rest of these heroes are. They will get on top of the Batrider for the moment. Schofield just gets the Ward Trap onto X-Nova. He gets the Shackle onto Bobica. Can they finish him off? He's falling super low. Puck coming through as well. X-Nova goes down. KJ trying to escape through the fountain. He does, but will finally burn down as Llama needs to get away. Pulverize is available for the Primal Beast. And Analog doesn't have a ton of spells left, so quick 2 for 1. You take down the 2 supports as we're seeing the carries kind of duke it out in the bottom lane.
I think this might be good because I like Slark's role in this game so long as he has enough farm, and he was having a rough time. So I feel like he's getting a little bit of space here now that, you know, this action is going on top. They're trying to start shutting down this Meepo.
Good smoke here. I mean, they have to be going for the Faceless Void, right? I imagine that's where we're going to see this rotation end up is K1. He really wants this catapult, and he might regret it. The question, will anyone break the smoke for him? It doesn't look like it. Well, he's in a pretty good spot next to the tower. It's going to be the Techies that catches him. Time walks away, but do they get on top of him? They do. The Pulverize. It's not even needed. They get him so easily. And now Schofield on the run. Techies with the bomb into the blast off. More than enough damage from him. Quick 2 kills. Nicely done.
That was scary when the leash from the pounce didn't connect, but the amplified damage from Primal Beast made up for that easily.
Analog does finish up his Witchblade. Yeah, I mean, Timbersaw is very scary. He's not going to be an easy hero to bring down, and he's just rushed the Kaya, so he is all damage right now. 0 points in that reactive armor.
Bit of a twist. They lost their off-lane tower first on Heroic after how this lane went. I definitely thought they, that early, that was like a 7-minute level 6 on Schofield. They haven't actually taken any towers with it yet, though.
Yeah, they've used it for fighting the whole time. I'd also like to point out that Schofield has a very weird item in his quick buy, so I'm sure that's just a mistake right now. He's just, you know.
You don't think this is the satanic Schofield Shadow Shaman Rush?
It could be. It could be the satanic Schofield Shadow Shaman. Top lane, though. K1 might be in some trouble. Monet trying to get the gap closed. He does have a chrono he can throw defensively, and that's, I mean, exactly what he does. But the heroes, they're on the other side, ready and waiting. Oh, no. 2 deaths now on the Faceless Void back to back, and your chrono down as well.
Feels a little bad. It looks a little funny, but it makes sense. Like, he just wants to farm right now, so he was trying to get away. But great positioning from G2.iG, already being prepared for that to catch him as he tries to get away.
There's just no tower there for anyone to get to, and now mid lane, they've got on top of Analog. He gets that illusion rune off, and it might be enough to escape. And it looks like it is, so very nice play there from him. Is his bottle going to get refilled? No. K1 actually showing up here to the mid lane.
No chrono though, so
Yeah.
can't actually do anything with it.
Much
Maybe
closer game right now. This is dead even, right? And your Meepo being at the top, your Slark completely recovered from a very rough early game. And K1, he gets caught again. The Inkswell's gonna stun him up long enough. He can't get the time walk off. Analog comes in. They're trying to trap this Slark in place, but he just pops the Shadow Dance, looking to go in for more. KJ's here, but he's not level 6. They will take down that Primal Beast, but the Slark is the kill that they need to get. But can they finish him off? Divine Llama, he's got another Chakram. They do manage to finish him off, and now the lasso's up. KJ gets his level 6, looks for Bobica, the shackle to stop that jump away, and it will be a 3-for-1. So I guess your Face's Void is just the distraction at this point.
I mean, you're happy for that when you're a carrier, like, oh yeah, my team's doing it everything, you know, I no worries. I missed chrono earlier, they're still winning fights, easy peasy.
Very desperately needing XP there, gets himself the Wisdom Runes, so that's gonna help out K1 a little bit. But I mean, yeah, you can just see it in the we're gonna see on the mid lane here as they manage to get on top of the puck. So is that the blink reveal? It was, yeah, that was NTS's blink reveal, so that's actually quite huge. K1 coming in as well to try and offer some assistance, and Divine Llama on the he just goes right into the hands of the Slark. You do not have the survivability. That one is, I mean, that was yeah, not the best rotation in from the Timbersaw there.
Maybe he's getting caught up in it. I mean, this is 21 kills. It's been a very high action game all across the map. So like before, you kind of just show up to everything and you take the fights, but maybe now they have to be a bit more careful about which fights they're gonna take.
I mean, this is another great blink reveal out. Great chrono catches 3, but do you have the damage? You need your Timbersaw. You get one. Slark looking to stay on top of the Faceless Void, and Monet, he's trying to finish him off. He ends up just ticking down to the Phantom's Embrace, as there's going to be a lasso out from KJ holding NTS down. He's slowed up quite a bit. Divine Llama trying to finish him off, and he will be able to. Bobica and Monet on the run for now. It's just gonna be the Slark that escapes, so they do manage to clean up a little bit. But dude, your Faceless Void has 5 deaths in this game already.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough spot for him to be in. I mean, the longer it goes, chrono is really good against like Meepo and Primal Beast, but Slark has been catching up after his rough start. He's gonna have his shard when he needs it. Like we see him, he's got it queued up, Aghanims into shard. So it's gonna be tough. Like if that shard comes early enough, that is one way Faceless Voids can recover. You get a chrono, get a kill, the team fight win, but once that shard just counters that, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be all on like Timbersaw's damage in that chrono, which is a lot of damage, I gotta say.
Yeah. JT does have his Aghanim Scepter completed now on the Meepo, so he's just been farming up a storm this game. Like all of these fights are happening, and JT's just been chilling on the other side of the map, you know, going this Dragonlance into Ags. He's on his way to his Blink Dagger. And we're seeing them just decide, yeah, we'll clear this stack of Ancients for ourselves. Why not? Have this really aggressive board that's been giving them everything.
Once he's got that blink on Meepo, we'll start seeing him in a lot more of these fights.
They're looking for JT on the bottom side of the map here. They do see him. This would be a great kill, but you have to like go for the main Meepo, right? He has the axe. But he's just too far behind the tower. They're a little bit too afraid. Maybe they can snipe this one under the tower, but no. They don't want to go for it. Even with the blink on KJ, I thought that might be their opportunity, but they will smoke instead and look elsewhere. At the same time, G2.iG is going to smoke up. Smoke's going to pop. They do not quite see the puck yet, as the power rune will spawn bottom. He just goes in, gets an immediate lasso, plus the coil onto 2, but Bobica, he's going to jump right back in. They didn't get the damage out. X-Nova trapped here from the wards, but they just chased down onto the Shadow Shaman. In comes K1 on this Faceless Void. He's looking to get active. 2 dead so far on the side of G2.iG, as the Shackle's holding down the Primal Beast. JT needs to be careful on this Meepo. They've got damage. They've got a Chronosphere. He needs to get his he needs to get his main hero here in place, and he does. He's just poofs him right in. Turns around with the Mega Meepo. They're going to get aggressive. Monet, he does still have that Shadow Dance available. Turns around onto Schofield. Divine Llama is just trucking through this team. The Slark just gets destroyed. Mega Meepo ends. It's a 5-for-0. Heroic just... How? It's a 6. That was a dieback on your Grimstroke.
They just couldn't get any kills on G2.iG. Like, the Glimmer did so much work for Shadow Shaman. It kept him alive, which allowed him to then control up NTS to get that kill, kept him alive in the fight, moved on, then shackles the next Meepo. Like, oh, they just couldn't finish anyone off.
I need to watch this replay. Like, so it just looked like a pretty rough start initially on the fight. I was like, all right, Shadow Shaman's definitely dead, right? But he just gets
there's
stick.
the
The Glimmer Cape keeping him alive. Just full duration shackle that they can't stop. And then at this point, you're like, okay, they're just gonna back away. Like, no big deal. They got 3 kills, but they decide to fight. They're like, all right, let's take the fight with Mega Meepo. We've got Monet, Grimstroke bought back. As well. Dude, they just have so many things to buy them time. Like, that's actually just what it is. Like, they have so many things to buy them time in these fights. Wow.
Yeah, and Timbersaw's having a great game, and he's doing so much damage in these fights versus Primal Beast, Meepo, all these melee heroes. It's making it really easy for him.
That is a huge turnaround. I mean, this game was looking, honestly, it's still very close. It's only a 5K advantage here for Heroic, but the Meepo and the Slark were starting to become major point of concerns for Heroic, and now suddenly K1 had 5 deaths. He was like 5th on net worth, and now he is past the Slark and chilling, has his Manta done, on his way to his BKB Lincolns. Like, it's not going to be an easy way to kill this hero.
Trying to rush this Roche, but Heroic is on the way. There is no Chronosphere.
This is not a fast Roche, man. The scan is there. They know. And Analog will just get the orb. They just ward trap the Primal Beast up onto the high ground. He gets the the onslaught away. KJ almost managed to catch him there. Huge coil catches 4. The rest of this team in trouble. Divine Llama just almost destroys 2 immediately. The Yules buying him again a little bit of space as Divine Llama just trying to get out. The Soulbind comes through. The stun catches the Faceless Void. Doesn't have Chrono. For 2 seconds, he goes down. They need to be able to look for more. JT surviving at the moment, but the puck is just doing so much work. The lasso will find X Nova. You have lost another hero, as it's just Divine Llama. Honestly, the Faceless Void isn't the carry. It is this puck. It is this Timbersaw. They are just doing an immense amount of damage.
It's just an initiating Faceless Void. Man, he jumped in and got crowd controlled, chain stun. I thought that was going to be good for G2.iG, but just while that's happening, Analog and Divine Llama, they're just pumping in the damage to everyone.
He like time walked into the last like frame of an Inkswell and gets full duration stunned off the Inkswell and then into a blast off as well. Like, it is just so close.
So far, it just feels like Heroic. They're just finding the fights they want more so than G2.iG. And like this Blink Dagger on the Meepo got delayed by like some weird fights earlier, and then they're trying to do Roche and they get caught out there, but we haven't really seen them start these fights as much. And all these fights that Heroic are starting, they're finding what they need and cleaning up from there.
I mean, the Kaya buff, that extra 2% spell amp, it's not something to scoff at, especially since like we've seen a lot of people kind of not rush the Veil anymore. So he instead opts to go for this immediate Kaya pickup. He's going to go back for the Shivas now, and he is pretty, well, I was gonna say pretty dang close, but you forget Shiva's is now a 2,000 gold recipe.
It's a lot. It's expensive.
He's still pretty far away, but yeah, I mean, once you add that damage into the mix, I mean, this Timbersaw is already scary. It's gonna be a lot worse.
Yeah, and the heal regen reduction versus Meepo, Primal Beast, and a Slark. It's really value there.
Yeah. I like the way Divine Llama's been playing this. The option to go for this like Yule's Eternal Shroud immediately after that Kaya has done exactly what he needs. Like, he just needs to not get bursted in these fights. And you see, like, last fight, they made the correct decision of trying to open on him, find that kill. Schofield will pop a smoke here, gets the dust, just instantly blocks the high ground. Tried to get a ward trap there, but does not find it. I love that voice line. So good. Oh, mid lane, they will find a freebie onto Bobica as Divine Llama gets his godlike spree now at 13, 1, and 6. Okay, I was gonna say he was really far away from Shiva's. He's literally 150 gold away all of a sudden. This dude just farmed like almost 2k in a minute and like just over a minute.
Here comes the rest of the money.
That's, yep, that is delivery service thanks to the Bat Rider. Very good stuff. Wow, that is going to be really scary now.
From here, they're set to be in a good spot. They'll start clearing up some of these towers. I think they're going to feel pretty good in pretty much any of these 5-on-5s. Granted, actually, K1 is still just farming in the back. So they're letting him catch up. So maybe like 4-on-4s, 4-on-5 type fights. They feel pretty good about that. I doubt we'll see them try to go high ground quite yet. They don't have any of these tier 2s yet. But I mean, if they win a big fight like they've been doing next to the enemy base, they could.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
All right, that was weird. I got like randomly disconnected from the game, but we're good.
We're back.
We're back.
Aghanims is now done on Monet, and he's got the shard queued up next. I do think that'll be really big for them in terms of dealing with Chronosphere. What else?
It's decent tool at holding puck in place, right? But you're not killing a Timber Saw with 2 pounces. Like, he does not care. He will just Yules and buy himself some time for his team to close the gap. And it's like, yes, you can follow it up with a second pounce, but you're also, it's kind of like you're not stuck here with me. Or it's like, I'm not stuck here with you. You know, you're stuck here with me. He comes down from
Yeah.
Yules and just drops all of his spells onto your head.
Yeah, if Slark has stacks prior to going on that, then I think he'll be able to do it. But yeah, you can't start on that Timber Saw. You gotta like get some stacks from support kills, and then maybe when you have like 20 stacks, you can look at the Timber Saw.
They got the Primal Beast. Dude, this was just so good from KJ. He bought this gem. He fished out this whole area behind this tier 2 tower and was just making sure that there was no vision. Drops a high ground ward, instant lasso. That was so sick. And they've actually caught Slark here for the moment. The silence and the damage out from the puck. He's doing some work, but no coil to hold him down long enough. Is now maybe they look for the supports. Slark, I mean, the jump in from Shadow Shaman. Schofield wants to get there. He gets the Hex off, but it just gets instantly dispelled. But look who they catch instead. It's the Meepo. A huge silence out from Analog. Traps down all 4.
Yeah, that was so close. They only got the Slark too. Schofield, the cast range is just short on his abilities. He was so close to getting it. Heroic's feeling great right now.
Timber Saw did 6,600 damage to me.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, there's your Shivas, right? That is...
Yeah.
Obviously, it's inflated because there's 4 Meepos there, right? But I mean, divide that by 4, right? That's still a lot of damage.
They're gonna poke a little bit on Heroic. Meepo's dead, so they can either force that buyback out or just take a tower. And they have Chronosphere. They just slowly poke at it.
You have a haste on the puck. They will go ahead and drop the wards. There, of course, there is no there's no like fort for the moment. Analog takes a decent chunk of damage there from those mines, so he needs to be a little bit careful. But I like the patience here from Heroic. They're just letting Divine Llama sit on the high ground. They will take the tier 3. That's going to give him a second fort to play with. So I'm pretty sure Heroic are just going to kind of take it slow. K1's showing in the mid lane, though. They just don't care. They're just punishing it a freebie onto this techies. Like, Divine Llama is just absolutely annihilating these heroes. And these wards are still alive, man. They've just been chipping down the melee barracks. And they get it.
I thought they might leave after that, but no, they're just going to get the range too since Techies is dead. Yeah, it's like Divine Llama's having such a good game. He's just taking point. He's not usually a good tower taker, especially now his shard just got nerfed too. But with the wards up from Shadow Shaman behind him, he makes the space. The wards slowly do it. They take it nice and slow. And just what is the answer? Like, how do you deal with it? How do you go into a Timbersaw who's standing behind Serpent wards? It's so hard when you know Chrono, Coil, everything's behind it.
And there's just a Shadow Shaman sitting there waiting for anyone to walk in, and they'll just hex you, and you have 35% damage amp next to a Timbersaw. Like, it's just gonna, there's just not a good, like you said, there's not an answer for it. And at some point here, you're gonna have to get some really good smoke gank off to try and find this like dream opening. You just can't kill Divine Llama. Like, that is just the hero that is not gonna die.
Yeah. Now, things aren't totally over for G2.iG, even though it's a really rough spot. But this is where the discipline to play correctly comes into action. Because Slark is a hero that if he finds a pick off and then you enter the next fight with 10 stacks, you get the next kill easier. You're at like 20 stacks and you keep going there. You also got a hero like Meepo who's just suddenly like can take over these fights that start going your way. So Heroic needs to be careful, and right now they're doing it. You see all of them together. No one's going to get picked off. No one's giving away free stacks. So as long as they keep this up, I think they're in a good spot to just close this out. But if something happens that causes them to scatter around, like Meepo trying to split push them, things like that, then maybe that's where G2.iG can look for something.
They know they're smoked. Like, they're like, we don't see them in the base. We've ward dropped again on the high ground. We're going to smoke onto the backside. It's going to pop. They see Monet, and now you're starting onto the Timbersaw. Again, the hero that I don't think they care about. The 4-step in. They get the lasso onto the Grimstroke as Divine Llama needs to try and offer some help. He will get the Eels to buy him some space, but the Chrono on the backside, they've caught the Meepo. That's the big one. JT needs some help. He gets the Mego Meepo off for a moment, but the last Meepo can't get to safety, and NTS now, he's come in. Needs to be a little bit careful. It's a 2-for-1. Definitely favoring, I would say, kind of favoring the side of G2.iG just because you've only, like, they've spent a lot on Heroic here. And you keep the high ground alive. But it's not enough. Like, these 2 kills are inconsequential for Heroic, I feel.
Yeah, I kind of think G2.iG maybe needed to push that a little more. There was 18 stacks on Slark, which is pretty decent. But it was tough because they don't have... Like, you need Pulverize to catch a puck. If you jump puck, Timbersaw's coming in with the big spells. I mean, Chrono was down, though, so that's... I don't know. They maybe aren't feeling... They definitely aren't feeling strong right now, but that might be a spot where they had to try.
I like the idea from the Slark. Like, he changed his mind immediately after going on the Timbersaw. He's like, yeah, this is not happening. Gets a little bit of stacks from him, but then turns his attention on over the Batrider. I think KJ kind of just delivered himself, right? He offensively 4-staffed in to go for the lasso on the Grimstroke, and at that point, you're like, okay, yeah, we trade the Batrider for the Grimstroke, but with lasso being down, it means you don't have the catch that you really want. We're going to see another fight break out bottom. Monet underneath a ward. They see all these TPs coming through, and Puck is just baiting them out. K1 doesn't have a Chrono, but you've got a Coil to play with. They do drop it, and that will hold Meepo in place long enough. The Shackles trapping NTS. Bobica here as well. They just lose 2, but again, you're underneath this ward. You can't get out. Up on the high ground, X-Nova, he's going to try and TP to safety, but the Yules is there to cancel it. And Nova will go down. Schofield, he's got the Slark. Oh, the save from the Centaur, but it's not enough. They get the kill. They get the gem as well. Oh, no. It has fallen apart here for G2.iG.
I don't think... I mean, if you buy back everyone to defend, you're so far behind gold-wise. So they pretty much need to give this up. Fortunately, they didn't lose any towers yet in the top lane. So it's just going to be 1 barracks here. They get to fight 1 more time, but nothing's really changed. And I can't see an item coming up for them that massively changes the dynamic. It still comes down to we have to build up Slark stacks and like go from one hero to the next.
Oh, top tower. I mean, there's been so much fighting in the Radiant base, right? You've got this like 6 ranged creep and catapult in the top lane. Eventually just pushes down that tier 1. The tier 2 is still standing, of course. So it will protect that, you know, like you said, the that third lane of barracks, but Roshan is up, right? And K1's just walking in. He's like, yeah, I'm ready to do this. I've got my Lincolns now, my BKB, of course. He also finds a Vindicator Axe, probably one of the best items he could get this game. The roar comes through, but yeah, I don't think G2.iG have any intention of contesting this.
Nope, they're just going to try to split push, try to get as much as they can in the meantime.
They actually don't see G2.iG on the map, so they're offensively smoking down the lane to try and find something here. But I think after they see that there's no new ward, that they're not contesting. Yeah, so they're just going to go back.
Yeah, NTS showed mid. He's working on his BKB, which will make these fights a bit easier for him. Oh, he even finds a haste rune, actually. That's really nice. But I actually don't think he'll finish this BKB in time because there's the Aegis. They're going to twin gate over. Going to get this lane pushing. There's a little bit of scattering from Heroic. Can they find anyone?
Banner's mid. Okay. I was like, where's the banner? I'm always trying. It's like you see the ping come out. So you're like, the Dire has placed a banner. And you're always like, where is it? Okay, they got a mid lane. So they've got the, what I like to refer to as Giga Creeps, right? When you have a lane of creeps already secured, plus the banner, they are very strong.
Yeah, the nice thing is always just going to apply pressure. I mean, that lane was already pushing, but now it's pushing very fast. I am still curious because the banner is relatively new and we only see it in some games because sometimes you just do Dire Roches, stuff like that. So I feel like there's still some exploration there on what the optimal use of the banner is. Is it better to put it top, for example, and help them take this last lane? They don't need it really this game.
DreamLeague offensively used the Yules here. He's just gonna chrono immediately on K1 and look for the Meepo, but instead Monet just dies. What?
I didn't.
Oh, the chrono did hit him.
Chrono?
I think he might have walked into it. I don't like. I actually don't think he was in it initially, but apparently, yeah, just got barely clipped. K1 looking for more. They get the lasso onto the real Mega Meepo on the backside, and DreamLeague, he's just gonna stand his ground here. Doesn't care all that much. They're diving the base for more. The support's just getting crushed. NTS with this new BKB finally takes down a Shadow Shaman, but the GGs are out, and of course JT, he's just doing his best to get away. What a performance.